Okay, so the boat's ready. As you can see, I put a coat of paint on the inside. Make sure you use a brush to get under there and jam as far as you can so that there's a good latex coat at the where it meets. Um, that just helps waterproof it. This doesn't really matter for looks, but yeah. Anyways, now it's time to put in the bottom strips. You can see I left raw wood along here, both sides, so that could get the best possible adhesion with the contact cement for the strips. This part's the easy part, just slather it on. I will be coming back and painting a final coat of paint in here, so I don't care if I'm messy. The paint will just go on top of it. Now, depending on your plan, these strips will be different lengths, etc., etc. Like I said before, my strips are 3/4 by half stained grade pine and sanded 4 sides. That's what S4S means. I'm putting on a good heavy coat of contact cement. I'll put it on a second, and then I will stick these down. Then we're going to drill through them to drill through just the inner ones to attach to the outside strips. And we'll use the screws basically as clamps. To squeeze the canvas, the plywood, and those outside strips all together. Hold this together no matter how much of a bashing it takes. So anyways, we'll let this set for a while and be back. So I thought I'd show you while this contact cement's drying up what exactly it's going to look like. Right now we have plywood, canvas on the outside. We have another stick on the outside. And now we're going to be putting a stick on the inside. So that's the kind of wafer that we'll end up with in the end. The screws will be pulling these together, so we should end up with good adhesion. And it'll keep it together. This will help the still curing paint to adhere it. Now, when you're choosing your screws, you want screws that'll go through the inside, a little bit into the outside. I'm going to be countersinking these, so they'll just barely go about that far into the outside wood. You need to pre-drill your inside ones so that when these are going through, they don't split. I'll show you an example here. This is the stick that I'm going to be putting in here. They're pre-drilled. These slide right in. There's no friction at all on these. Don't tighten these too tight or this bell head will split the wood, but you can torque down pretty good. We're gonna barely drill through these into the outside with an 1/8 inch drill just to give somewhere for these to center on and to help it not split. But we'll do that in just a second here. Okay, so the contact adhesive is set up enough that we're ready to go. Now remember, on the outside I use these sticks as a spacer away from the edge of the plywood to set where those outside sticks were. This comes in handy because now we can use that as a spacer on the inside, so we know where those sticks need to go. On my boat, with my dimensions, these are 42 inches long. It looks like I need to just barely kick that out a bit. Now I should show you, you need a bevel on that end so that when you're putting the spacers in, they'll slide, that they can swing down in. If you're just blocked off, you're not going to get them in there without massive work and maybe cracking your superstructure. So yeah, leave some space for that. Okay, now this being contact cement, the first touch is golden, so put it down on one end, try and stay in line with the other. And now, needless to say, try and get the straightest of these ribs that you can. If they're bent at all, the bottom ones, as you're laying them, you can straighten them out. These inside ones, it's not really an option. So anyways, okay, now that's stuck in there. Now what we're going to do, 1/8 inch drill, center of this hole. I just barely drilled in, maybe 1/4 inch. We don't want to go any further than that because we don't want to accidentally pop out the other side. Any screws that go all the way through, you need to do like the ones I put on earlier to hold the outside one on. Any of those, you need to do something to waterproof them, either silicone, RTV, anything just to waterproof it, because even a dab of latex paint as you're driving them in will do it. Otherwise, it'll like to seep around those screws. These screws, since they're not actually going to penetrate out of the wood, they're already sealed on the outside. There's no reason to do anything fancy here. So now go, and I don't want to go hard enough that I crack anything, but I do want to get this firmly. Since this is pre-drilled, it's only pulling on the other side, and it's squeezing that as I tighten this up. And I want to get that as tight as I can without actually stripping. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we can see the other one here in the camera, so I'll go ahead and do the other one. But same thing, it's pre-drilled. Now theoretically, because we did the spacing and everything, I should be in the middle of the strip on the other side, and I shouldn't be splitting out. We'll check that when I'm done. If I did split out the side or something silly like that, we can paint it up with some paint, latex paint, or silicone it, or anything that we need to just to make sure that it stays watertight. But these boats don't have to be perfect. These are meant to be as play toys, although they make great boats. But they are meant as playthings, not as masterpieces and works of art. I can't get this one to center in the pilot. I'm going to have to re-drill that one a little bit. If I even drill it to begin with. I think I did. Oh yeah, I did. I just drilled it up in the corner. I didn't get it centered well. Aim for the corner then. Ah, there we go. Try to use screws, either stainless, brass, bronze, whatever, something that won't care about the water, because these are going to get wet. One of these times you're going to tip it, or the paddle's going to drip, or you're going to spring a leak. But plan on them getting wet. Anyways, same thing with the other side. So yeah.